that Super Bowl, I'm kind of speechless. Like I don't even know really what to say. We're gonna try to get some thoughts on this. We got a full house, so we got James, Kyle, Nick, Isaac, and Timmy. I think this is probably the most that we've had on here one time. So let's jump into it. Super Bowl 51 was one for the ages. That is for sure. So 34-28, Patriots win. First time Super Bowls ever went into overtime. I'm just going to keep this simple. Was this the best Super Bowl of all time? Kyle, we can start with you. You're a lifelong Patriots fan. I kind of want to get your thoughts on this. Was this the best Super Bowl ever?
Follow me on Facebook.
Dude, but I want you to share with the masses that may not follow you on Facebook.
Yeah, of course, man. That was fun. It really sucked for the first half, but I came back. I actually watched it with a Falcons fan. It was the only one that I could find from around here. It was old Bean.
He's a Falcons fan?
Yeah.
All right.
He lived down there, I guess, for a while and whatnot. And, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So he was taking it well, and he fed me real well. And then I was on the floor, kind of half dead, and then it's kind of coming back from the dead. It was fun.
All right, so best ever. What? Go a little bit deeper. Was it just the fact that it was a comeback? Because I mean, the last Super Bowl that you guys won when you played Seattle, I said that was the best ever until this one. So what kind of gave it the crown?
Went to overtime. It was the largest comeback in Super Bowl history. Roger Goodell got booed a lot. And if you notice how they always give out the MVP trophy at that presentation? You notice how he didn't do it? He did it in private this year.
Mm-hmm.
No. And then Kraft going, saying what he needed to say. I thought he did it real well with that. Outside, it was a hell of a game too. I don't care if you hate both teams, like one or the other. Like, that was a hell of a game. It was entertaining. And Gaga came in from the roof. That was kind of cool.
James, what about you? What are your thoughts? Is this the best ever?
It's the best game I've ever seen. And then I have to be honest with you. I had to take my sister someplace, and I was going to do it after the game. I left and was listening to it on the radio because I thought the game was over. I left at the end of the third quarter. So I had to listen to the rest of the game in the car on the radio.
That was even more compelling.
I know, but no, I was going crazy. I mean, I thought it was done, even with Brady being, the now maybe the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, down 25, I didn't think they had a chance. But I've since rewatched it, and yeah, I mean that's by far the best football game of all time. Probably the best finale of any sports league ever.
Nick, what about you? Best ever?
Absolutely. I think hands down best ever, if not one of the best games ever. I mean, it started off terrible for the Patriots. It was actually kind of fun to watch for me. But it had a lot of different things. It had really good defense in the first half, really slow offense with the Patriots. And then it came out in the second half, and it's almost like Bill Belichick planned to do this. I mean, it kind of watched in the first half their play calling, and I saw over and over and over on second and third down those screens, which Atlanta was just eating alive. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't understand for the life of me why they kept running that. But for some reason that broke it out. But I mean, I had two of the best catches ever, period, of all time in the Super Bowl. It was the first Super Bowl ever in overtime. It was the biggest comeback ever. And it was probably, as far as like quarterback class goes, probably one of the greater matchups that you'll probably see.
Isaac, what about you? What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on it are I just lost $150. Those are my thoughts. So I mean I'm feeling pretty good about myself, and I don't feel awful or terrible because I mean it still is Tom Brady, but for you not to at least score 3 points in the second half, bro. I mean they would have won that game if they scored 3 points in the second half, and they just couldn't do it. So I mean, for you to be the greatest of all time, you have to be put in position to be the greatest of all time. And every single year, Tom Brady has at least some semblance of a defense, something that Aaron Rodgers hasn't had, something Peyton Manning hasn't had. You can grab the quarterback of all time. If they're going to be in that chase, they have to have a defense. And he's been blessed to have that. Not to mention the greatest defensive mind, probably in modern day football history. So when you see all the pieces come together, I mean, before the game even started, there wasn't even a question to who the greatest of all time to me was. Now I ask you, I'll throw a question right back to you. Was it a question for you?
I'll get out on that, but Timmy, let's hear your thoughts.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a Colts fan, so I've always been a Peyton Manning guy over Tom Brady. But after what just happened Sunday, oh my goodness, man, I can't even look myself in the mirror. It started off a good game, especially because no team has ever came back after being down by 10 in the Super Bowl. Okay, and then also it was enjoyable because Brady got sacked 5 times. I'm just like, yes, get his ass. I just love when they apply pressure to him because he's not sitting back all day to throw it. And then the fact that Brady threw his first career pick 6. Okay, he's never thrown in the postseason. He's never thrown a pick 6 in the postseason. That's his very first game, and he was still able to overcome all that. Man, I'm speechless.
I think we have a consensus here. It was the best game of all time, and I'm
no.
totally. Wait, who said no?
Isaac.
Wait, okay, so you don't think. What do you think is a better Super Bowl than that?
I honestly think that you could pick almost any of the Super Bowls that they've ever played in better than this one. And I say that because, I mean, there was not one team punching back at one point of the game. It was just like, okay, I'm going to lay down for a while you bang me, and then you lay down for a while I bang you.
Well,
I think Julio would probably disagree that he didn't punch back with that catch he made.
He was punching, but they were only chest punches. They weren't punches to the face.
All right, so you would take. Let's see, they beat the first one. They beat the Rams, which that one was great. Then they beat the Panthers. Then they beat the Eagles. All those were by a field goal. The next one was the Seahawks, where they intercepted at the goal line, and then this one. So. You don't even put this. Is this 5? Like, does this rank in your top 5?
It's probably in the bottom 2.
So maybe 4 to 5.
I mean, every one of their games came down to Brady making just 1 or 2 plays more than the other guy.
Also, Brady has never scored a touchdown in the first quarter of his game. So
that's insane.
Yeah.
All right.
So I knew it was always.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 saying it's the best ever, 1 saying it's not. So Isaac, you're putting it in maybe 4 to 5th. For me, it's unequivocal. This is hands down the best game of all time. We saw the biggest comeback ever. We saw the greatest quarterback ever. We saw the greatest coach ever. We saw the most Super Bowl wins by a quarterback-coach combo. We saw the most points put up. There's just a litany of records that were either tied or broken from this game. And the fact that, you have somebody was punching and then the other person was laying down. That first half, Nick, you touched on this. The first quarter was pretty much all defense. And then Atlanta started to get it going. That pick 6, 21-0, and then that whole second half. So all those other Patriots Super Bowl wins were all great. And honestly, before the last probably 20 years, most of the Super Bowls were blowouts. They weren't really good games. You look at like Cowboys, Bills, that was a blowout. There's just Patriots, Bears from the 80s, that was a blowout. There's just so many blowouts. And then recently, they've all been such good games. And to see that it just do a complete 180, like it started off as being one of the worst games. And just real quick, I made a Facebook post, and this is probably maybe right after halftime. And I put, how fitting that this whole year has been marred by NFL ratings. The ratings are down. People are getting sick of football. And I go, how fitting is it that the end of this year is culminated by the worst game of the season? Ooh. And then I literally deleted it 5 seconds afterwards because I'm like, dude, this isn't over yet. And then the rest is history. So,
bad, Richie.
I know, right? Bad. But, yeah, I'm definitely going that it's the best ever. One thing that I want to transition into is overtime. So when was it? Was last year the very first year that they switched the overtime rules for where it wasn't sudden death? Was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this obviously was the first Super Bowl to go to overtime. It took 51 of them to get there. We all know Brady got the ball back. He scored 31 unanswered, so 25 unanswered going into overtime. Once New England won the toss, I think we all knew it was over. Would you guys agree there?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So would you guys want an overtime that is kind of maybe more like college, just in the Super Bowl. I'm fine with overtime the way it is, regular season. But just in the Super Bowl, would you guys want it where each team is guaranteed a possession so that way we can kind of see some more fireworks?
Well, I've always wanted it to, like, 'cause in the Super Bowl.
Whoa. Hold on. Somebody's – all right, there we go. All right.
In the Super Bowl, like, it's because I've always wanted to know what happens. Do they draw if it's the end? Because
No, you just keep going. Just keep going.
I hope so.
They said that at the toss. They said that there's no ties, like there's nothing. You keep playing.
Hell yeah, and I would like to see the college way, but at the same time, these are grown men, man. Just let them play. I like the rules perfectly how they are. However, I wish they would have reviewed the last run in the zone. That's about it.
I agree.
That's fair. So keep it the way it is. If you don't like them, stop them. Pretty much. I'm fine with that. Isaac, let's go with you next. What are you thinking?
In terms of, sorry, I just got some sushi.
Oh, you're good. Just do you like the overtime rules the way they are, or do you want them just for the Super Bowl? Do you like them the way they are, or would you rather have it where both teams get a chance to be on offense? We can really kind of keep football going, keep the intensity going, and keep the interest.
You could argue that you're punishing a team because they played, excellent defense to, go to an overtime, and then you're saying, okay, you're really tired, but you're gonna have to stop these guys.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? Like you've held on to dear life trying to keep yourself winning a game with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in the biggest game of your life, and then you're like, well, guess you gotta stop them one more time. But like it's tough to say, to not give the other team that same opportunity. I guess I'm okay with either way. You know what I mean? I'm indifferent.
All right, that's fair. What about just last night? Last night, were you cool with it, or were you like, man, I wish Atlanta would have got a chance?
No, because honestly, I was just at that point I was feeling like, hey, like Atlanta, you couldn't score 3 points in the second half. You don't deserve the ball back.
That is fair. That is fair. Nick, what about you?
I like the way it is. If anything, go back to the old way where you can kick a field goal to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're sacrificing their bodies and stuff like that anyway, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I'd like you touched on, I mean, if you can't score 3 points in the second half, you don't even deserve to win anyway. So.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I said defense wins championships, right?
Yep.
They didn't win it. But yeah, no, I agree with what Isaac was saying about that. Yeah, like, it's fine either way. And I really do think they could go back to the old way, because I mean, where does it stop then after that? Like, okay, you kick the field goal, they kick the field goal. Like, you got a touchdown, so they get a chance to go get a touchdown. Then where does it stop? Like, do you end up?
I think that kind of what college does, and what I'm more. I'll touch on this later, but I think where they draw the line is, all right, you go down and you score a touchdown. That's your one possession. The other team gets guaranteed one possession. And then if you tie, so let's say Pats went down, scored a touchdown, Atlanta gets a guaranteed possession. They go down, score a touchdown. After that, it's just sudden death. So that's that's kind of the way that I've interpreted. But sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I got.
James, what about you?
I like the way it is right now. I mean, obviously, if they went back to the old ways, the game would have been over sooner, because I think New England would have just kicked a field goal, and not risk some kind of turnover or anything like that. So, but as far as going to the college system, I don't think I like that. I think it really comes down to you are in the Super Bowl. Obviously, you're supposed to have a defense that's good enough to get you there. Make one stop. That's all it takes. One stop, you get the ball, you can go down there, and either if they would have held them to a field goal, it would have given Atlanta the opportunity to either tie or win the game. So just stop them.
And I agree with that, and I totally get where you guys are coming from. Me personally, I would have liked to have seen Atlanta get another try, just because of the way that football has evolved into such an offensive brand. I mean, defense does win championships. At the end of the day, if you don't have a good defense, you're not going to win. And that's one thing that really surprised me is Atlanta started off, their defense looked like it was top 5 in the league. I mean, they were plastered all over the receivers. The pass rush was just dominating, and then that kind of fell off. But I would have liked to have seen Atlanta get another try just because it's the Super Bowl. I'm totally with you guys. If it's something to where, regular season, even playoffs for that matter, you know what? Make it stop. You're part of the team. Defense is part of the team. Doesn't all have to be about offense. But just in the Super Bowl sense of things, like just that game, I wanted the Patriots to win once it kind of got going. I tweeted right when the game started. I said, I do not have a rooting interest. Like the game just has to dictate to me and kind of give me a gut reaction. Like what do I feel from this? And I said, exactly. I wanted a good game, but with that, I didn't know who I was naturally rooting for. And when the game played out, like at first I said Atlanta has the talent to dominate. And when they started doing that, I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, man, but the Patriots have Brady and Belichick. And I just would have liked to seen Atlanta, kind of get another shot. And then the way that the game was going, they didn't have that much momentum on offense anyway. So
number 97. Number 97 was a monster for Atlanta.
Oh, Jackson? Yeah, Jackson.
Jarrett.
No, it was Grady Jarrett.
Jarrett, that's what I meant. My fault.
I mean,
yeah, man,
that boy, ooh, he looked like a Dom Kong Sue up in there, boy.
They were absolutely killing it. So let's kind of transition in. We went over the overtime, but really this game, I think we all kind of agreed with that. This game really wasn't lost in overtime. So, James, we can start with you. Was this game won by the Patriots or was it lost by the Falcons?
I think the Patriots won it, but part of it, them winning it, was kind of that Tiger Woods effect. Back in the day when Tiger Woods was so good that even if he was a little bit behind you, if you heard his footsteps, you'd start getting nervous and kind of change the way you played and all that. And I think that Atlanta started playing a little bit differently just because they knew it was Brady that was right behind him and coming back. If it was a different quarterback, if it would have been, I don't know, even Dak, well, I guess Dak Prescott, is he in the same division? Anyways, but if it was a quarterback like that, I don't know that Atlanta would have fell apart like that. I think that they probably would have been able to put up more points. But I think it was the Patriots winning it.
And so more, give me a percentage on that. Would you say maybe because you said it was a little both. Would you say maybe 80% Patriots winning it, 20% Falcons losing it, or where are you at there?
I would say probably 60% Patriots winning it.
Okay, that's fair. Kyle, what about you?
50-50. I would say. I guess I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. I guess I don't know. I was still pretty lost in the moment. But if you look at it, what was it? Something like the Patriots ran close to 100 offensive plays to Atlanta didn't even get 50. And if you looked at it, they're beating the crap out of them starting out, but they looked like they were punching above their level for a while, and then they were just gassed. And so when they were gassed, that's when Brady and their offense started doing their little dink and dunk thing that's been working for as long as I know. And they just kept doing that, and it worked.
For 15 years.
Nick, what about you? What do you think? Pats won it or Falcons lost?
I would say Patriots won it 100%. I mean, just out-coached. I mean, time of possession in the second half was unreal. They couldn't get the ball.
Thank you.
Atlanta couldn't get the ball to their playmakers. I mean, you got to get the ball to Julio. You got to get the ball to Freeman. They couldn't do anything. It was 3-and-out, and then they were getting beat on all phases of the game, including coaching, so all four phases. And it's just, I mean, it just is what it is. New England is just a higher class all the way around. I mean, it's almost every position because at the end of the game, you saw Brady literally just standing in the pocket. Maybe, what was it, that Jackson or whatever his name is? Maybe got, I think, one sack towards the end there, but literally just standing tall in the pocket, throwing wherever he wanted to, first down after first down. I mean, it was just Patriots just won the game 100%.
Isaac,
they won. Whoa! They won it 100%.
Well, you know what I mean. Whatever the hell we're talking about right now, as far as did Atlanta win it or did New England, or did Atlanta lose it or did New England win it? They won it. I mean, Atlanta did all they could.
They stopped running.
No, they didn't.
Which was weird.
Let me explain this to you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
From the time Falcons got up, what was the score? 28-3.
Mm-hmm.
Since that point, they had 4 rushing plays the entire game.
Oh man.
4.
Oh my God.
4. They completely choked, bro. I would say, I'll say like this: they 90% choked that shit, okay, and then I'll add an additional 10% for the Patriots, and 20% won that shit, okay.
Okay, so and I see what you're saying on that, but also it's play calling. I mean, this McDaniels or whatever, who's Shanahan's supposed to be a head coach next year. Like when I'm the 49ers, I mean that organization's shit anyways. But I just
let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
If the Atlanta Falcons had ran the ball every single play in the second half, do you think they would have won the game?
Absolutely.
Fuck, they would have probably won. They didn't even run the bro 4 times. They would at least kill the clock. Like, run the ball here, take the ball, have to strip off this fumble shit, the sack fumble shit. That's not happening if you just run the ball, bro.
If he played Brady ball and dink and dunked and only handed the ball up the entire second half, they probably win the game.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
If they keep the clock moving, they would have won that game, bro.
But if they keep the clock moving, that definitely helps. And it takes time away for Brady. But at the same time, I give up for Brady because that man stuck through it. You know what I'm saying?
He's a bad man.
And to your other thing that you said earlier about which would rather have for overtime, it reminds me of the sense of like say beer pong. Like I want to at least see a rebuttal from the other team. If they don't score, like if you get the touchdown, that's like both of you guys making 2 cups. That shit's over, yo. But if you you can't win the game off a field goal and not have the other team rebuttal. Like that's some bullshit, bro. But I love it the way it is. And then for this, Brady's a bad man. I'll give it that to him. But they completely choked that. It's like Shanahan was like, "Fuck it, I'm out of here next year." You know, we already got this game in the bag. Let's pat, Matt Ryan's stats. Let's see what else we got in the bag, and let's see what else we can throw at him. No, that shit was stupid as hell, man, and they deserve to lose it.
Isaac, what about you? Did Pats win it or did the Falcons lose it?
Falcons lost that shit, bro. Go ahead.
I said Isaac, fool, not Timmy.
I'm sorry, man. That pissed me off.
I like that cowboy hat.
For me, it was obvious, man. The Falcons lost that game, bro. Like we literally said, like, if you handed, the video game to, a computer, and the computer only ran the ball at the 1 second mark for the entire second half, they probably win that game, bro.
Here, I got the play-by-play pulled up right now. That's what I've been doing here the last couple
seconds.
seconds.
Shard choice, Richie.
I remember that.
It was 2
seconds.
Did they have a 99.1% chance or something like that to lose that game?
99.3. In the third quarter, with like 7 minutes left, the Falcons had a 99.3% chance of winning that game, and they lost it. So
guess what that percentage represents?
Tom Brady.
The fault of whose it is, and it was on Atlanta, bro. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
I don't
All
care.
right, so let me just go through the drives real quick here. So Atlanta, they get the ball, the first possession in the third half, and they go down and score. Tyler Gabriel had those big chunk plays. Tevin Coleman catches out of the backfield for a touchdown. 28-3. All right, so after that, New England gets the ball, and they go 3-and-out and punt. After that, Falcons get the ball. I apologize. The first drive of the second half, the Falcons do not score. They punt it. So that was my bad. All right, so punt, Falcons, punt, Patriots. Falcons get the ball back, go down and score. Patriots get the ball with 8 minutes left, and that's when they had that trick play. That's when Brady ran on that 3rd and 8. They went down and scored, kind of made it, somewhat of a game. What's that?
That was sexy, wasn't it?
Just
watch him try to run.
That was so fun.
I was like, get it, Tom.
Yep. So after that, that's when New England tried the surprise onside. They didn't get it. And we have first down, pass, Hooper. 2nd and 1, we get a hold, so that pushes us back to 2nd and 11. Then we get a pass incomplete. Then we get a sack on 3rd down. And then they punt. So, yeah, we get one run and a couple passes. New England gets the ball back. They go down. They get that field goal. And then Atlanta gets the ball back. And that was the sack fumble. So after that, it kind of just – that's when it really started to shift. So, Isaac, you said 99.3% chance, and you said that 0.7 represents whose fault it is. I think that was a great point. I thought that was a great point. But I gotta go kind of a split. I would say that Atlanta, again, that was a great point where you said the 0.7 represents whose fault it is. But at the end of the day, the Patriots are the ones who made the plays. I mean, they had to make two-point conversions because the dude missed an extra point. They had to go down length of the field. They had to get that 4th and 3. Where if they didn't get that 4th and 3 on that drive in the third quarter, that's over.
Yep.
So they get the 4th and 3. It's just watching that game. I said it was over in the first half. When they went up 21-0 on that pick 6, I said it's over. Kick the field goal. I'm like, okay, you got a field goal? Like, dude, you needed a touchdown. It's over. Then Atlanta goes down and scores, make it 28-3. I said it's over. And then they started just getting back in it. And it kind of – so this whole playoffs, I said that I've not been a believer in the Atlanta Falcons because they're not a winning organization. They proved me wrong in the playoffs. And then what they do in the Super Bowl? They look like the losing organization that they are. And the Patriots look like the winning organization that they are. Like, winning – is habitual and contagious. When you win, you expect to win. And it's like, I'm not a big overly like religious person, but there's things that happen that just feel like it's bigger than the game. Like there's just things that happen in that game that I'm like, it just felt like destiny. Just like Dallas
Testify,
losing.
Richie. Testify.
Just like
God
Dallas
did not win that game.
Just like
Amen,
Dallas, just like Dallas losing the playoffs against Green Bay. It's just like we made a comeback, and it's just like no matter what happens, it just felt like Dallas wasn't meant to win. Flip that, man. It just feels like New England just is meant to win these things. Like they do it so often. That even in the biggest comeback ever, when you have a 99.3% chance of losing and you come back to make a play and win,
let me tell you what. They won that game because Tom Brady laid his head down and prayed to the Almighty, which gave him the fortitude to drive the Patriots forward in the name of American Jesus.
Gatorade.
What about Gatorade? The haterade?
I think he was spitting in his Gatorade.
Yeah, right. He's probably pissed off still from using the flame from the fire for the Deflategate because that was the mantra all year about he's playing with a chip on his shoulder and he's so mad. It's like no, dude, the dude's just one of the baddest quarterbacks ever. So
during a halftime, Brady gave them a bottle of his secret stuff and it was all over. See, he said, "You don't want to know what makes me great? It's because I come to play, dude. Come on now, let's go, let's do this." And they took over, man.
I thought that was Bugs Bunny running that 10-yard comeback, so it was definitely the secret stuff.
The secret stuff.
No. I was afraid that play was just going to be one of those plays that was just forgotten, and just the essence of Super Bowl past that no one even remembered. Tom Brady running for a first down, and then it ended up being an important play, so it's awesome.
Yeah, that was clutch. So let's move on. So we're kind of split on this one. I like it. We've got some people saying the Patriots won it. We've got some people saying, it was kind of split. I would say if I had to quantify what number I would be at, I would say the Falcons. I'm probably with James on this. I would say the Falcons probably 60% lost it just by being up the way they were and then lost it. But I have to give Brady and the Patriots credit, man, for making those plays. So let's
65%.
65. All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you 60. Maybe 64.5. I don't know. For rounding up, I'll give you 65. But
72-28.
72-28. 72-44.
I don't care. I won. That's all I care about.
Well, of course you don't care. You're a fan of a Super Bowl champion team. I hate you.
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky.
I'm so jealous, man. Like, God, I get my heart broken every goddamn
in the
year.
90s. You just don't remember it.
No, I remember one Super Bowl from the 90s, and that was the Steelers one, and
I think Michael Irvin only remembers one, too.
Richie, you do it to yourself, bro. You do it to yourself, bro.
I'm ride or die, man. I'm never leaving this team. It's not happening.
Hey,
Richie. About the Lakers.
Richie, don't make me list off them Dolphins quarterbacks again, bro.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. But you guys don't have that's the thing with Cowboys is they have these. They're always in the media, so they have this, everybody wants to see them fail. And then they start to do well, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe we could just, no, not happening.
Dante Culpepper.
Everybody get your roll on. All right, well let's flash forward to the end of the game, which I thought was just poetic justice. It was beautiful. I don't like the man. Roger Goodell just got booed mercilessly. So
Roger.
Boo!
what did we like it? Yes or no?
Oh,
Whoever wants to
yeah.
start.
Oh, heck yeah.
I didn't like it. I will be the first to tell you that. It's not because, I mean, we all know how I feel like Roger's a crappy person, but it's like this. He even like walked up to Tom Brady and like shook his hand and was like, "Good job, bro." I was like, "Hell yeah. Give me that respect. Put some respect on my name, Roger." You know?
Didn't he?
He said, I was ready for Tom Brady to be like, "Yo, meet me outside. How about that?" You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it was very classy, and I just like that he gave him his props. So don't boo the commissioner, but just appreciate Tom Brady's greatness, because that's what the moment was for, not for Roger to be booed. That's all.
I don't know, man. It's kind of for the Roger thing. That's just me personally.
For any Patriots fan, I totally get that. Let's make it quick because I don't want to get too far off topic. But Kyle, what are your thoughts on the whole? I mean, just this whole year, man. 4-game suspension, and then he comes back. He goes, what did he throw? 31-2 touchdown interception ratio. Like
the regular season.
The regular season.
I can't remember the touchdowns. But yeah, it was 2 interceptions, and they threw 2 against, I guess, the Texans. I think it was.
So I mean, was the whole like chip on the shoulder vendetta, like, was that stuff overblown to you, or is it something to where you were like kind of, as a fan, were you kind of having this like, man, forget the NFL, like they're just trying to have an eye out for the Pats? Like, what did you feel on that?
On the surface, it was all a fans thing. The fans were the ones talking about it being a revenge. But as you saw it go on and it got closer into the Super Bowl, you could see more of the players doing it. And if you look, I was listening to the Dan Le Batard show this morning, and they were talking about because like the WEEI, which is like the Boston radio syndicate or whatever, like Tom Brady goes and talks to them a bunch of times, and they could say the way that he talked about it, they could, you could tell that he had something that, he wanted that. And, you could say it was competition. It was also that. But I mean, if you look at the other coaches like Robert Kraft, you already know Robert Kraft's holding the business. Belichick doesn't say shit about anything. He's just OCD and silent. And then Matt Patricia had the Roger Goodell as a clown shirt on today, the one that they sell at Barstool Sports or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean, as it got more on and on, I mean, but that's the Patriots thing, like they're so OCD and tight-lipped. Nobody was going to say anything about it anyway. But behind the locker room doors, none of us knew what was going on. Only they knew, and select few reporters. But now that it's all transpired, you can get to hear some of those stories that were kind of coming out. It was a big deal, but it wasn't as big a deal that they would have to shoot their mouth off, which seems to be like the thing to do now.
We got a lot of background noise from somebody. I don't know who it is, but
Timothy, that's your sister. Tell your sister to shut up.
I got you.
Or one of the two, but anyways. All right, so we didn't get the rest of the thoughts on the whole Goodell booing. So Timmy, you went. Kyle, you went. Nick, what do you think? Is it? Did you like that? Did you not like it?
I don't know. I'm partial to it. I mean, it is what it is. I really don't give a shit about Roger Goodell, to be honest with you. So
neither does anybody else.
And I don't think the Patriots do either. I mean, I think for them, it's just business as usual. They're there to win the game, win the Super Bowl, go home. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I thought the quote that that Belichick had after the game, he was like, well, the reality is that we're 5 weeks into the 2017 season. And it's like, dude.
That's good.
We're on to the offseason.
Like, yeah, we're on to Cincinnati. We're on to the offseason. But it's like, man, like how I mentioned, winning's like habitual and success is habitual and all that stuff. Like, that's why, man. Like
That's why.
It's just like when you have leadership like that, like it's hard to have anything but success. And it may not be, players might not have the most fun playing for him when he's shooting them out and stuff like that. But I can guarantee they're going to be having fun when they retired. Looking back, they got 5 rings on their fingers. So It's just like, man, like that type of mentality is, to me, it's just kind of what sets him apart from everyone else. But sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your
I want to say one thing, because the man had like 466 yards passing. Like that's the most yards passing in Super Bowl. So honestly, and I hate to say this, but I have to keep it so real. But Man, I'm sorry. Brady's the best, man. This man did this with a whole bunch of. I mean, if you look at his wide receiver core,
White guys.
That's a weekend. He got lacrosse.
Gym rats.
Bunch of below average. I don't know about
A bunch of gym rats.
Hey, Jimbo, you got a bunch of gym rats and feisty.
Coaches on the floor.
Bunch of scrappy guys.
Man, he got no brothers on the wide receiver crew, man. I'm just saying.
They all got high motors.
Hey, but he got James White. Should have been the MVP.
And Malcolm Mitchell.
I would want him to date my daughter.
All right, so I got a stat for you. Timmy, I thought that was a really good point. Like, dude, he's doing all this with, I mean, the year that I thought they had it in the bag, 18-0, or excuse me, 17-0, but then Moss and Welker. So get this stat. So Brady throwing to James White, Danny Amendola, and Malcolm Mitchell. I think that we would all agree that those are usually not going to be Super Bowl stars.
Hell
those
no.
are kind of more rotational guys. All right, so get this. 28 for 34 for 258 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks, with a 107-19 rating, throwing to James White, Danny Amendola, and Malcolm Mitchell. Like, he is making those guys better and just making them millions of dollars in the upcoming years. Like,
Didn't even have Gronk.
yeah, no Gronk, no Edelman, no Chris Hogan in there. Now, granted, Edelman and Hogan played, but I'm just saying, like, 28 for 34 for 258 and 2 to a bunch of essentially no-name guys. I mean,
that's why he's the greatest, man. He's besides Randy Moss, he's never had a Hall of Famer wide receiver, man. Think about that. And this man is putting up numbers.
Well, Gronk isn't a wide receiver, but
No, but he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeez, man. It's.
Yeah, if he quits getting hurt like Romo, God.
Are you
Sorry,
gonna?
had to.
Wow.
I had to.
Hayden
I
Hard.
had to. Sorry, that's it.
All right, James, what did you like it or not? The boo.
All right. So honestly, I think at halftime, Roger Goodell was in such a good mood that he was, thinking that he was going to be handing the trophy off to the Falcons. And in the second half, his good mood was deflated by Brady. So I really do not think that. I mean, yeah, he was professional when he shook Brady's hand and all that. But I'll be honest with you, I think it was uncomfortable for him. I really don't think he wanted Brady winning that. And I think Brady also handled it well and just kind of shook his hand. I mean, I wanted Brady to make some kind of smart-ass comment or something up on the podium or whatever about trophy feeling light or something like that.
Deflate this.
Yes, exactly. So,
No.
But
No,
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the booing.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. And I'm just being – there's nothing – that is logical as to why I like the booing. It's purely from an emotional place. I don't like Roger Goodell. I think he's a terrible person. I think he's a terrible commissioner. I think he's money hungry. I think he doesn't have anybody's best interest but himself. I think that there's not a lot of positives to which the only positive that he brings is that the league is making money under him, but even that is kind of starting to teeter. And I think that he's a big reason for that. So I love the boos. I mean, like I said, I don't believe in and I don't agree with a lot of things that he stands for, both what he's proven. Like, he'll say things. He'll be like, the NFL is all about public relations. I mean, that's it. They don't care. Yeah, safety being a great example. Great example. They say they care about all this stuff, and then they're like, hey, we're going to keep pumping you up on opioid painkillers, but don't you dare, take some CBD oil that has THC in it. That's you can't do that. So it's just like, I don't believe in anything he stands for. I don't agree with it. And to see him get booed like that so loud, oh my God, it made me feel so good.
He cares about safety only as so much as it pertains to what it's going to do financially to the league.
Exactly.
He doesn't care about the players.
And another thing that makes me sick, the whole month of October, what do we see? Pink everything. They don't give any of that money to cancer research. They pocket that, man. It's brand exploitation. Like, hey, we care about things. We need to reach out and increase our female demographic. We need to increase our female viewership. And it's like, dude, it's just for PR. It's just for money. And it's just the NFL, like, that's perfectly said, James. They only care about safety and they don't care about anything if it's going to make them money. Everything else, be damned. So,
Like with the military.
like with what?
Military. The military pays them to do all that, support the troops and stuff like that. If they didn't pay them, they wouldn't do it, which is
not anymore.
Then they got caught and gave the money back.
They got caught, so now they don't do that anymore.
They don't do it anymore?
Now they give that
Thank God, at least.
Yep. So now that's free. Now the NFL does that for free.
The funny thing is both of those things that you guys brought up. Well, I brought the October one, but Kyle, military, that's the whole month of November. So it's like they just pick these months and they find, okay, what demographic can we permeate into and just make it look good for everybody? Okay, well, everybody loves the military and everybody knows somebody that's affected by cancer. How can we exploit this? How can we rake in more money? And it's just, I'm just so sick of it. And I'm really glad that you guys are able to see through the bullshit, because most people aren't. And they just are like, oh, yay, pink, yay, the NFL cares. Oh, military veterans, they care. And it's like, no.
I don't know if I've seen anybody do that, but it'd be funny if they did.
Hey, let me play devil's advocate for a second.
All right, got you.
If you were – Roger Goodell is a fantastic commissioner, depending on who you ask.
The owners.
If you ask the owners, he's pretty damn good at his job, man. I mean, for you to be a player, shortening your life expectancy, not messing up your knees and ankles, you won't even be able to walk the same after you're done with this sport. And you literally are taking painkillers and doing everything you can, partying your ass off, working your ass off, but shortening your life expectancy while all this is going on. And these guys get paid less than Matthew Dellavedova. And they're part of the entity that generates the most revenue in the entire country in terms of sports wise. Like, what are we talking about here, man? Pay these guys, and then they get, they work there 3 years or whatever, they get destroyed, and then they have no, afterwards, no medical care afterwards. A lot of these guys committing suicide because of CTE and everything. And Roger Goodell, he's the man, because how he hasn't had the NFL get the crap suit out of them.
They have many times, and when you have that much money, you can win any lawsuit. I mean, damn near any lawsuit. Yeah, sweep it.
But that's why I wanted Matt to win. That's why I wanted Matt to win the championship, because it was before like the big rookie contracts went away, and they're like criticizing him for making I think he had like $40 million his rookie contract, and everybody's like, oh, this and that, he can't do this, he's a rookie. But I'm just glad that he did one hell of a job with what he had, and then he choked it away. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, fine. Well, we got off on a nice little Goodell bashing tangent, but all right. So most of us are saying the best Super Bowl ever, except for one. But yeah, I would definitely, just to sum everything up, I think that we've been very lucky, especially you, Kyle. Goddamn Patriots fan. We've been very lucky. We've been very lucky to see just the careers of Brady and Belichick transpire over the last 17 years. I mean, it's just, I'm not a Patriots fan, but I do like witnessing greatness, and just to be able to see what they're able to do year in and year out and just find ways to win. I love watching it. It's great for football. It's great for sports, and I love it. So, but yeah, this has been good. Full house. We had 6 of us. We'll definitely have to, hop on and do this some other time. I think we actually, for once, we actually kept it. It might be under a half hour. I'm not sure.
Ooh, no way, baby.
I know, right?
Just remember, you can be my brother. It don't matter if you're black or white.
That sounds like it should be Michael Jackson. Sounds like it should be a Michael Jackson reference.
It's the brotherhood, baby.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, anyways, with this whack ass, there we go. Anyways, so last football video of the year. Well, that's not true. We'll probably do some draft stuff. We'll probably do some stuff right around there. But yeah, man, 2016 season over. New England Patriots Super Bowl champs. Kyle, God damn it. But anyways,
the real America's team, Richie. The real American team.
The ratings and the money says it's this team right here. But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.